So
Yeah,
that's what we are still treating now, right?
yeah. Today just going to just enter into it.
Okay.
Okay, hope you guys can see my screen now.
Yeah.
Okay, so starting from the VPC section, right? First thing we're going to do is we're going to create a VPC, which is the number one thing you should do, right? So create a VPC. We won't be using this VPC and more. We're going to be focusing on the VPC only, right? And we'll basically be naming this VPC project, right? And um, scrolling down, we'll be giving our VPC.
Yeah, master, you can record though.
Yeah, the class is recorded. 10.0.0.0, then slash 16, right? This is what we'll be giving our VPC. So scrolling down a little bit, leave everything as default and create VPC. Okay, so now after we've created this VPC, the next thing we want to do now is to create our subnets, right? We need to create our subnets, which is this, the subnet, and we are going to click on create subnet. And now we're going to be creating the subnet on this project, VPC that we created. And scroll down a little bit, we can give our subnet a name. We will call this one private-01, right? That is the name of this one, private-01. And the availability zone, we're going to give it an availability zone of EU West 2A, right? So I'm going to give it an availability zone of EU West 2A. And scrolling down a little bit, we can now give it cider block, which is going to be 10.0.1, right? .0, then slash 24, right? And scrolling down again, we can add new subnets, which is the second subnet we're going to be adding, another private subnet, and we'll be calling this O2 instead of O1, right? And the availability zone is going to be 2B. That's what the availability zone is going to be. And if you scroll down a little bit again, you can see we add our cider block here, 10.0.0 .2.0 slash 24, right? And scrolling down again, we now need to create two public subnets where our load balancer is going to be present. So doing this, we're going to create public-01, right? So we'll just copy this. And the availability zone is going to be in the same availability zone as the private subnet. So that will be EUS2A. And scrolling down, we'll use 10.0.3, right? .0, then slash 24, right? Then scrolling down again, we'll add a new subnet, which is going to be the last subnet we're going to be creating here. Okay, so subnet, public subnet 2, and we are going to add a cider block of 10.0.4.0 slash 24, right? And our availability zone is going to be EU West 2B, right? And scrolling down, you can now click on create subnet. And here you can see every subnet present here. You can see the private, public O2, and yeah, private O1. Right. Okay. So the next thing now we want to do now is to create route tables for this. But before we create route tables, we need to create our internet gateway first. So create an internet gateway, and we can call this project, that's IGW. Yeah, and scroll down and create the internet gateway. So now that we have our internet gateway, we need to attach it to a VPC. And the VPC we are going to be choosing is the VPC we created. So attach internet gateway to that VPC. So now that we have our internet gateway active, the next thing we need to create now is going to be our NAT gateway. So coming down to our NAT gateway, we are going to click on create NAT gateway, And note that this NAT gateway is a very like the price is not tied to free tier. So once you create this and you are done with everything, this should be the first thing you should delete because the cost is actually very large. So for this, we'll give it the name of project, then NAT, then the subnet. Okay, can you guys give me a minute, please? Okay, so okay, we're creating the NAT gateway, um, and on the NAT gateway you have the project NAT, which is the name, and the subnet that we want to associate the NAT gateway with, which is also going to be the public subnet because the NAT gateway has to be on the public subnet, which is this public O1. And scrolling down, we want to allocate an elastic IP. We have allocated an elastic IP, so we can scroll down now and now create the NAT gateway. So now we have our NAT gateway running. We have our NAT gateway running, and if you come to NAT gateway, you can see it's trying to still pending. So now we can now go to our route tables to start creating our route tables. So action, we can click on create route tables and we can create a route table for private, right? And the VPC we are going to be selecting is the project VPC. Scrolling down and we'll create this first route table. We can also do the same thing for public. So we'll create the public route table and we select the VPC we want to put the route table on, which is the project we want created, and we're going to create this also. So coming back here, we now have two different route tables, private and public. So we're going to be editing the private first. So on the private, we are going to be editing the route, which is going to be, we're going to be adding the NAT gateway, right, on the private, which is project.nat that we created, save changes, and we're also going to be subnet association. We're going to be doing the subnet association. So scrolling down, we're going to edit the subnet association, and we're going to pick in our private subnet, which is private 1 and private 2, and scroll down a little bit and you can save the associations. So now that we've associated this, right, and we have our NAT gateway and everything active, the next thing we want to do now is we want to come over here to our public subnet and we want to attach the internet gateway to it. So here we're going to click on edit route, add route, and everywhere. Also, we're going to be clicking on internet gateway and we're going to select the internet gateway created. So save changes also. The same thing we did in the private, we're going to do in the public. We're going to edit the subnet association and we're going to be picking the two public subnets that are here, public 1 and public 2. So scrolling down, we're going to save these changes and we come back to our route tables and everything is already set perfectly well. You can see two subnets here. And after doing this, the next thing we will want to do, right, is to go over to our EC2 dashboard, right? Is to go over to our EC2 dashboard and we are going to create our machines. So this is EC2. We're going to click on that and okay. Okay, so now that we're here, we're going to click on instances and we are going to launch instance. So here we're going to be creating three different instances, right? So the first one is going to be the project -01, or let's just call it private project -01, right? And let's copy this in case we want to create the second one. And we're going to be using Ubuntu for this. And scroll down a little bit. Fritz here, Tito Micro, and we are also going to be using a key pair for this. So we are going to be choosing, okay, since there's no key pair for this, we are going to be creating a new key pair for this, which is going to be, let's create a new key pair for this and call this key pair project London, because that's the region we're in. So we can create this key pair. Okay, so project London is here and we have selected it here. So scrolling down now, we can now create a security group separately. So we can come back here and scroll down to where we see security, click on security groups. So now we're going to be creating 3 different kind of security groups. So we're going to click on create security group and we are going to name this security group public. So we're going to create the public instance first, our public security group first. So this is public, and we're going to add a route. We're going to basically just add all routes that helps us connect to the internet. So we can first add all traffic, then add routes for SSH also. You can also add routes for HTTP anywhere, and HTTPS, which is going to be the last. And also here we also want to add another all traffic buffer for IPv6, so we can do this, and we can just create a security group. Okay, now I've created a security group. We need to create another security group. This is public. We need to create a private security group. So we name this private, right? And scroll down a little bit. This is also going to be named private. And okay, let's see. Okay, let's create this first. This is private. We select the VPC, and in the private, the only thing we want to have access to is SSH. So we're going to select that, IPv4. Let's do the same thing for IPv6 too. Or we could just leave this and scroll down here, same thing here, all traffic and IPv4, right? Sorry, IPv6 rather. Yeah, so we're going to create this. Like, I'm thinking that in the public subnet, the what's it called that we used was the default one. So let me see, public and private. Okay, yeah, so it's actually the default we used in the okay. Okay, so this one is connected to the project. That's the private, but the public is connected to the default VPC. So I have to delete this public and basically create it again. So delete security group. So we have to create the public again, create public security group, and we are going to use public here again. Same thing here. And the VPC also change it to projects. Please don't make this mistake. And same thing here, all TCP rather SSH IPv4 anywhere. We'll add HTTP HTTPS, then all traffic will add IPv4 anywhere because this is a public, and here we also add all traffic for IPv6. So yeah, we'll create this now. And the last security group we'll be creating is going to be for our load balancer. So we can create the security group here. So this will be load balancer that's security group, and the same thing, LB that's SG, and the VPC select project, scroll down, and for the load balancer security group, we want HTTP access to HTTP port 80, IPv4, and HTTPS. And we can also use all traffic, or we could just delete this. Scroll down, we see the all traffic here too. We can use all traffic for IPv6 too, anywhere IPv6, and we can create a security group. So now coming back to our launch instances, we can basically scroll up a little bit and click on edit. We'll select the VPC we created. We'll select the this is supposed to be a what? A private instance. So select the private instance, private one, okay, no IP address, select the existing security group, and we're going to select the private security group here, and scroll down a little bit, and we're going to launch this instance. Okay, so the same thing we're going to do for the second private project instance we are going to be creating. Right, O2. So this is the second private project, and scrolling down, we're going to select Ubuntu, and scrolling down again, we're going to okay, we're going to select E2 micro. The key pair we're going to select is London, project London, and scrolling down again, we're going to edit this, and we're going to use the project, and we're going to put in this in the private O2 subnet, and this is going to be disabled also. We're also going to select an existing security group, which is the one we've created already, private, and we're going to launch this instance too. Okay, so back to the instances. Okay, so we're going to create a last instance, and this instance is what is going to help us run everything on to our private instances, and this is going to be called a version host, right? And we're going to scroll down a little bit. We're going to select Ubuntu again, and scroll down. We're also going to select the project London that we created, the same key pair, and we're going to edit this. And now we're going to put this in the project VPC, and instead of the private subnet, we're going to be putting this in the public subnet. So we're going to put it in public O1, and we're going to enable the IP address, and we're also going to select a security group that we've created, which is going to be public this time, not private. So public and launch instance. Okay, so now that this is working perfectly well, the next thing we want to do is we want to wait for this to basically just load up. That's what we're going to do. We're going to wait for this to load up. So while we're seeing the security group section, we need to okay, let's come to our instance section. While this is still loading, let's try to create our target groups. Open link in new tab, open our load balancer also. So the first thing we'll have to do is create a target group. So we'll come to target groups, and we're going to create a target group. Okay, so here, create a target group, and instances, scroll down a little bit. You can give a target group a name. You can call this project, right? You can just call this project, and you can scroll down a little bit and select the VPC that we created, and scroll down, scroll down, scroll down till next. And here we're going to be selecting the instances that I want to put in the target group, which is going to be these two, private project 01 and private project 02. And we're going to include our spending below, and we are also going to create target group. Yeah, so now that we've created this target group, yeah, it's still two unused, right? And the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to come over to our load balancer, reduce this a little bit. Let's check our instance. Okay, it's still initializing. Let's now create a load balancer right here. Scroll down a little bit and create application load balancer. Then coming to this space, you will be asked for the load balancer's name. We're going to give it a name of project-lb, right? And we're going to leave everything here as default, internet facing IPv4, right? And scrolling down here, we'll have to change the VPC to our project VPC, and we're going to pick out the what's it called, the subnets that are here. And please do not choose the private subnet. When you choose this availability zone, you need to pick a public subnet. So here we're going to be picking the public subnet 01, right? And here we are also going to pick in the public subnet 02, which is here. And scrolling down again a little bit, we created a security group for the load balancer, which is lb-security group, which we have selected. And you can scroll down to, and you can also reload this so that you can see your project target group that we created. So this is the target group we created, and this is it here. So you can just tick it and scroll down, and this is just a summary of everything. Now we can now create a load balancer. Okay. Okay, so now we can view our load balancer, and you can see the load balancer is still provisioning. So while the load balancer is still provisioning, the next thing I want you to do now is to come down here to security groups, where you see security groups here, and I want you to come to these private security groups, because that's where the instances that we want to put behind our load balancers are present. They are in the private security group. So you come over to the private security group and you scroll down a little bit, and you're going to click on edit inbound rules. Scroll down and you add rules, and here you are just basically going to just come to this search box and just click on it. And when you click on it, you have to scroll down a little bit, and you have to basically click on these security groups. When you reach the security group section, you have to see the load balancer security group that we created. So you click on the load balancer security group, right? Because it has to be connected to the security group of the private what's it called, of the private instances, because that's how they communicate. So after selecting on that, the next thing you want to do is save the rules. Okay, so now that I've saved these rules, and our target group is still in the initial stage, let's reload this. This is still working. And when we come to our instances, we can see our instances are all running now. Yeah, they are all running. So now we want to log into this instance, which is the version host. So we can just come here and connect to the version host. Connect. Yeah, so after we are trying to connect to the version host, we want to come back here. Okay. Okay, now that you're on the version host, let's clear this out. And the next thing we want to do is now we want to install, and we want to first update this server. So we can do sudo apt update, right? And we can also install Ansible at the same time. Then -y, then we run this command. Right, this is saying too unhealthy, so let's leave that for a while to load. Okay, so this is done. The next thing you want to do now is to clone the GitHub repo, which is going to be in this and we're going to call that project. So we have to cd into project, and after cding into project, we now want to nano into our inventory file, right? And we want to cancel all this. Now we want to come back to our instances, click on this first private instance that is above, and we want to copy the IP address. So we copy the IP address, we come here, we paste it. We do the same thing for the second one, which is this, and we copy the IP address too, and we paste it here too. So we can do Control O and Control X, right? So we can now nano into the Ansible .cfg, right? And the name we are going to give here for the private key file, don't forget that the private key file that we installed, right, was project-london, right? Project-london. So what we're going to do here now is we're going to direct it to that part. So we're going to use project/project-london, right? And we're also going to set host key checking, right? And we're going to set this to false, meaning that it should not ask us any yes if we want to confirm or if we want to log into our servers, right? So after doing this, you can just save this and exit, right? And you can now do a nano into project, right, dash, which is what's the name, project dash london, and we can now open this file, copy it, and come here basically to paste it. Right, so now we have the project-london file here, everything is present, right? So the next thing we are supposed to do now is we are supposed to run this. So we can do Ansible. Okay, so it's saying we have 15 minutes left. Okay, let's see what we can cover between that time. So Ansible playbook, right? And we are going to basically choose the sites.yaml because, as I explained in yesterday's class, this is where everything is, all the rules are going to be running from. So when we run this, we should get an error because of the file is not protected. So we have to do a chmod 400 and project London. So we have to run that again. Yeah, so as this is still running, we can basically come over here to check out everything that we are doing here. Our load balancer, okay, so our load balancer is active now, and okay, so our load balancer is active. Our target group is still unhealthy. We'll have to give that a while. Okay, so it has worked perfectly well. No errors, nothing. Yeah, so we'll have to wait for this to basically just, which you can take about 30 minutes or so. Um, let's try the load balancer first. Okay. Okay, so this is going to take a lot of time. Let's just delete this, and let's delete this also. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create this again, but with a change. So we're going to create this again, and instances, we're going to call this project, and we're going to scroll down a little bit. Okay, yeah, and for this health check part, we are basically just going to reduce this from 30 to 10. And next, okay, it says here that there is no instance. Okay, so we need to like create this again, try to refresh this and create a target group. Instances, VPC, okay, we chose the wrong VPC, I'm guessing. And yeah, we can put this as 2. And yeah, hope that's everything with the name. Okay, we gave it a name of project. Okay, so next, okay, so now we can pick our 2 instances, which is the private, and we can include a spending below and create targets group. And we can come over here to create a load balancer like we did before. So scrolling down, everything as default, and we can choose projects here. Now we can now select the public for those two subnets, and we can select the load balancer security group also. Scrolling down, we can still select the target group that we created, and with that we can create this load balancer. Okay, so this has deployed successfully. We can basically cancel this out. So everything is working perfectly well now. Okay, so how many minutes is remaining? 7 minutes. Let's check our. Okay, so that's still provisioning, and our security group. Okay, so the questions also said that you can set up auto scaling too. That is if you want to. Okay, so this is still showing unhealthy. Okay, so let's try to edit this inbound rule, and I don't know, hopefully it works. And let's give it all traffic IPv4 anyway. And yeah. Mhm.
Quick they do thing.
Okay, so the target group is
Oh gosh.
still showing unhealthy. So let's go back to our
But I tell geometry,
sorry,
what did they learn
can
all
you
those things
mute
once
your
more?
mic, please?
So I'm not
Please.
that intelligent for all those.
Thank you. Um, let's go to the security group and to the private security group, and let's see exactly what we did there. So I did the inbound rule, and on this, let's delete this and let's add the rule again, right? And we're supposed to allow this port ET for, like I said, when you come here, you scroll down to you see the load balancer security group, which you're going to select and save. Okay, so now that we've done this, let's basically come back here and try to refresh this and see what happens. Okay, so now they are both showing healthy, healthy. So that was the only thing we needed to change there, was just the security group. We needed to make it port 80, right? So now that we've done that, our load balancer is now active. So we can copy the DNS, come over here to our browser and enter. Let's hopefully we see our, okay, so we can see the web page and you can make changes to this. Please, if you have your own like websites that you want to use, please use it. I get what I'm saying. But you will surely see the line of code. Okay, let me see if I can show you guys the line of code. Um, Okay, so this is the index.php. So this is all HTML, right? HTML. And the most important thing is this line, right? This is the line of code that helps you print out your, what's it called? Your IP address of a particular server. I get what I'm saying. So you can make any changes. If you have your own website and you want to print it in a different way, you can just pick out this and use your own website. Also, for those, if you want to still use this, note that you are going to make a change to this, right? There is a name here. You are also going to make a change to this, right? But if you have your website, you can use everything and just use that code. So this is the website, and it's ending with 204. And if I refresh this again, and now it's ending with 41. So it's basically like balancing the load between those two servers. And next thing now we're going to look at is we're going to look at the auto scaling. So now that we're done with the load balancer, we're done with the security group, we're done with the security group here. We're also done with the route tables. We're done with the yeah. We're going to be looking at auto scaling, which is the last thing here, right? Auto scaling group. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to create a new auto scaling group, right? And we're going to call this auto scaling group project, right? And scrolling down, it is going to ask you for a template. We don't have a template here, so we need to click on this create a launch template that will help us launch our auto scaling group. So after clicking this, you can click project dash template, right? And we can basically use the same name as the description, and we can scroll down here, and now the template is asking us for a, what's it called, an image to use. So what image are we supposed to use here? This is where we go into snapshots. So we come here, open link in new tab, we go to snapshots, and we want to take a snapshot, right, of the existing instance that we have. So of this existing instance that we have, the two instances we created, we want to take a snapshot of it. So anytime we're trying to create a new instance with auto scaling, right, it will be exactly the same thing. I get what I'm saying, that is just spinning up again. So that's what we're trying to do. So click on create snapshot and click on instance, and scroll down a little bit. We can select the ID. Okay, so this is from the instance we want to like get the snapshot of. We're going to be choosing the private project one, right? We're going to get the snapshot from there, and this is going to be called project snap, right? So scroll down, leave everything the way it is, and just click create snapshot. Now that we have our snapshot present, we now need to come to this part where it says AMI. We click on AMIs, and we basically click on, okay, so we can come back to this snapshot, sorry, and we can highlight on this. Oh, okay, so this is still pending. Okay, that's why it is still pending. So we can basically create like what's it called? We can create a new Amazon machine image from the snapshots that we took, right? So let this finish loading, and load this again and again and again. Okay, so now it's completed. Let's see. So now we can see create image from snapshots. This is where we'll click on, right? So we click on create image. What name do you want to create the image? So we're going to call this image project dot on project snap dash snap also, and we can scroll down. The same thing as the description, you can give a more vivid description, but this is just yeah, and you can leave everything as the default also, right? Scroll down, and you can just create the image, right? And now we have created an image from this, and if you go to the AMIs, you can see the image present here, project snap. So what you do is copy this image name, right? Copy AMI. Okay, so let's just leave that. We can come back here to this AMI part and we can basically just search for project dash snap, right? And click on enter. So it takes us to this new page, and here we can basically just check my AMIs and click on that, and you can select, you can see the AMI you created, right? 2024-01-07. This was when it was created by us, right? If you see the owner, it matches the same thing on this ID here. So we can just select this. Yeah, so now that I've selected that, we can scroll down and tick our instance type, right? So when it's spinning it off for us, what's instance type, which is going to be T2 micro free tier. And scrolling down again, our key pair is going to be the project dash London, right? And scrolling down again, we are going to basically choose a subnet where it should be present, right? Since this is a private, whatever auto scaling or whatever instance that is going to be created has to be in a private subnet. So we're going to choose the private O1, and we're going to click on create or select existing security group. So the security group we created for the private subnet is what we're going to select here. So private, and scroll down, leave every other thing as it is, default, then create launch instance. Okay, so it says remove subnet from EC2 auto scaling whatever. Yeah, can I answer your question maybe later on? Please let me be done with this first.
Okay.
Yeah. So it says that we should remove the subnet. So now that I've removed the subnet with this option, don't include in launch template. So we can scroll down now and basically click on create launch template. Yeah. So now that I've created the launch template, we have our launch template present. We can now focus on our auto scaling. We can now come back here, reload this, and we can see our project template here. We can click on it and scroll down and click next, right? Now where it is now is asking for instance. Okay, so this is T2 micro. This should be just a summary. So the VPC where we are going to be running this is the VPC we created. Please don't forget that. And the availability zones too and subnets that we're going to be selecting is going to be private. So the private O2 and the private O1 is what we're going to be selecting here. And scrolling down next, and we're going to attach to an existing load balancer, right? So that's what we're going to tick there, and choose from your load balancers target group, which we're going to see here. This is the target group that we created for our load balancer. And if you scroll down again, leave everything here as default, everything here as default, everything here as default, and next. Now it's asking us for our desired capacity. It's asking us for, okay, what is the desired capacity we want to be created at all times, which is going to be 2, right? And the next thing now we want to do is now the scaling. So what is the mini desired capacity, right? So depending on how low the traffic is that is coming to our website, how low should it reduce the amount of instances? So we can leave it as 2, and the maximum desired capacity can be 5. So depending on how many people that are coming into our website, if there are 1,000 people, no matter how large the traffic is, it should not be more than 5 instances that should be that should spin up, right? So with that, scrolling down, you can just leave these two as default, and the instance scaling protection, leave this as default, and next again, and next again. And yeah, you can basically see the summary of everything you're going to do, and we're going to be creating the auto scaling group. Okay, so now that we have created, it's still updating capacity. Okay, so now the auto scaling group is up and running. And if we come to our instances here, okay, you can see that it is automatically spinning up two instances again for us here. Two instances again, right? Yeah, it's spinning up the two instances for us again here. So if we delete these two, if we delete these two, okay, we deleted the version host too. So we can delete this other what's it called? Other projects. So instance state, terminate instance, and terminate. So if we refresh this, this is still initializing. Let's basically check our what's it called? Our target groups. Okay, so it's saying there are three instances right now that are in the healthy state, right? So if you come over here, notice the 41 that is here. If we refresh this, hopefully we should be able to see, okay, this is a new one, 1110, 110, sorry, and this is 204, this is 110, this is 204, and 110 and 204, right, like that. If we come back to our instances here, so if you, no matter how you try to say you want to delete, what's it called? The instances that are here, the auto scaling group will automatically help you to create two more instances, right? It should be a minimum of two instances that should be active, right? So if I say, okay, I want to delete these two now, instance state, terminate instance, right? Terminate, and I terminate those two instances, you can see automatically another new one is pending, right? It's automatically creating. This is pending and it's already running. So this is already running, this instance is already running. Then there should be another one that should come anytime soon. Okay.
Why is that this?
Is that what?
I was asking why are they automatically running? And
Yeah, are you just joining the call?
not too long ago though.
Yeah,
Okay.
they are automatically running because of the auto scaling group that we added.
Okay.
So if you delete anything, it automatically just comes back up. So if you come back to our targets group and we reload our targets group again, we can see there is only one instance that is currently active. Okay,
Mentor,
yeah,
the auto scaling, if we terminate maybe the initial ones that we have and the new one automatically come up, are we going to have whatever we install in the old
yeah,
one we deleted in the we'll have it inside it automatically?
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
That is what I explained before. That once you need to create an AMI for it, a new image, you need to take a snapshot of the one that was active before, right?
Mm.
And use that snapshot to create an image. So anytime you're spinning it up again, it's just like you spinning all the commands that were in the previous what's it called? Previous machine up again. So it's just like that. So
That means even if any of the old instances uh, have any fault or on LD, you can easily have another one that will run it for you.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So we can see that there's a new one that just got created just now by the auto scaling group, and it's still initializing. And if you check our targets groups, you should be able to see it. It's still in the initial state here too. Uh-huh. let's update this and update this. Well, currently we just have just one. Okay, we have two actually. So there are still two instances here, the 231 and the one that ends with 212. So that two works. Okay, so
Sorry, mentor.
Mentor, please, I have a question.
Please, can we have a small recap? Because I went out for like 40 minutes, so I missed out. Can we just have a 5 minutes recap?
okay, someone said he has a question.
Yeah, Mentor, please, I saw you copying a certain web address that you copy and paste.
Yeah.
Question one, in case of if I am doing it or I want to practice, where will I get that website address from? And two, this project that you are talking about, how am I going to submit it? Because I'm confused.
Okay, for the submission, I basically don't know. You have to wait until all school gives you like a week to submit it. I get what I'm saying. But for the web
Okay.
page, all this code that is here, right? You are going to get access to it, so you can push it to your GitHub repository. I get what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Then you can now
Okay.
pull it from your GitHub repository. That's where it's coming from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So
And do we need to have screenshots at every stages of what we do?
yeah,
Like when we are creating the internet
initially
gateway, the NAS gateway, and everything.
in the assignment they told you guys to create a blog, right? Yeah.
In this particular one, they did not.
Yeah, I'm guessing they did because I saw the assignment. This is your holidays assignment one. They said you guys should create a CV and also create a blog on every single step on how you did it and publish it on any of your blogging websites, either Medium or Hashnode, anyone that suits you. So doing that, what you need to do is you need to exactly like what you said, take a screenshot of everything, right? And explain it in details what exactly is going on. I get what I'm saying. Explain it in details what exactly is going on. When you're doing the auto scaling, you need to explain it writing what exactly is going on. When you're creating the route tables, you need to explain it in details what exactly is going on. So that's basically what they said you should do. Okay, so the one thing, another very important thing is deleting all these things, right? That's the another very very important thing. Like I said, when you are trying to delete, the first thing you should delete is the NAS gateway. So you come to this NAS gateway because it's not part of your free tier, right? And you need to delete
Mentor,
it.
please.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about or showing how to delete it.
Yeah,
Looking at the process that we've gone in for almost 1 hour now.
yeah,
Uh, we cannot do it and leave it like that because we don't know when we are to submit it. So what do you suggest we do? Or we wait till they give us a platform to submit it before we do it?
yeah. The funny thing about old school is this: they basically their marking is very very slow. Now you get what I'm saying? Very 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 slow. And if you are going to be doing it this way, I'm very sure you would have run out of free tier, right? So they will be billing your original account. So what I would advise you to do is this: get the code ready. I get what I'm saying, and basically wait for when there is a deadline, right? Or when there is a submission link. You get what I'm saying? So once they drop the submission link, you can now create it again. Are you getting me? That way, it even gives you a better chance of remembering it than just leaving it from when you create it now to maybe in the next 1 week when they drop the submission link, right? You would have had like over $200 in your AWS account sitting there for you to complete the payment. Okay, so we are going to be deleting the auto scaling group.
Please, mentor. You said you shared.
Okay.
You said you shared a link for us to see where we can do watch the CV
Yeah.
part. Please, where is the link, please?
Are you logged into the Udemy account?
No.
Okay, log into, that's the most important thing. Log into the Udemy account first and ask him for the 6-digit code, which I'll send to you. That's the first thing you should do. Now, when you have done that, you will get access to the link. Because
Okay,
if you do
thank
not
you.
log in and you try to get access to it, you will have to pay for it, which is about over 10,000 naira or so.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so next thing we'll come to delete is our security groups. So the public, private, and load balancer. Okay, we'll remove these defaults, the private, and we're going to delete the security groups. Okay, copy this, paste it, delete. Okay, so the next thing we want to delete is the elastic IP. We created an elastic IP for our NAT gateway, so action and release the elastic IP, release it, and yeah. Okay, so for our VPC, we can just basically just delete the rest in a very easy way, which is by just coming to your VPC, take on the VPC you created, an action, then delete VPC. You see the options of everything that can be deleted with it. That's your internet gateway, your subnets, and all those kind of things. So we can just type in delete here, and we can delete everything: the security group, the subnets, the route tables, the VPC, everything that's deleted. So now if you come to our subnets, you don't have to be deleting it one by one anymore. If you come to your route tables, the same thing is all deleted. The internet gateway too deleted. I'm guessing we've deleted the elastic IP. Yeah. Scrolling down also, the NAS gateway always cross check, so you can see it's deleted also. So now we come to our instances and we can just tick this box and instance state. We can terminate instance and yeah, just terminate and everything should be out. Yeah, so doing this, cancel this, untick everything, reload it, reload it, reload it. So as you can see, every single thing is terminated. Yeah, just give it a few time to clear out of this place. So we have deleted our instances. Now we need to delete our launch template. This also, we created a launch template and we need to delete template, right? And we're going to paste our delete and confirm, and yes, our launch template has been deleted. The next thing we need to delete also is we need to scroll down to our AMIs, but first we need to first delete our our AMI. We need to delete our AMI first, so click on it. And action, we need to deregister the AMI. So now we have removed it. We now need to move to our snapshot, and we need to also delete the snapshot. Okay, our snapshot has been deleted. What else did we create? Our security group, I'm guessing we deleted that too. Elastic IP deleted. Our key pair, you can just leave that there, or you can delete it by choice. And our load balancer deleted. Our target groups deleted. Our auto scaling groups, right? And okay, name not found, auto scaling group not found. That means it has been deleted. We can just need to refresh this. Yeah, so our auto scaling group 2 is deleted. Scroll up to cross check, and our instances are all deleted. And you can check through the EC2 dashboard. There are 0 instances running. There are 7 instances that have been deleted. The load balancer 0, security group 0, 0, key pair is 2, and coming to our VPC dashboard. So we have one default VPC, 3 subnet, default subnet, and the one NAT
Mentor,
gateway that we deleted. Yeah. Our
please,
network
can,
ACL.
do we need to create new pair if we have like 2 key pair already, or can we use the old one that we have?
You can use the old one you have, but the most important thing is the old one that you have, do you still have the key present with you? Because you will need that key to log in. For instance, this one, this is the key. Are you getting what I'm saying? This is the key here, right? And you saw
Yes.
when I copied it into the version host so that I could use it to run the Ansible on the private instances.
I
So
missed those parts, but I'll rewatch the videos.
yeah. So best in self, let me just delete it because the key has already been shown on the what's it called on the internet. So delete. Also, let me delete the front photo. Okay, so the images. Okay, let's cancel this out. So the elastic IP2 deleted that. So with that, we are basically done with everything, right? We're done with everything. And yeah, I don't know. Does anybody have the question so we can see if we actually touched everything?
Okay, mine is just a request. The where we have that host name where you copy from.
Yeah,
Can you help us share the file?
the
So
host name.
yeah, where you copy the host name on the IP this thing.
Okay, sorry. What host name is that? Is it the whole Ansible file?
Yes, the file you
Yeah,
made it.
definitely. You guys will get it.
Okay, all right.
Okay, does anybody have any questions so far? So I'm guessing if you want to submit it, you will have to submit this load balancers IP, right? And your blog with your CV. Yeah. So is there any questions so
Please,
far?
please, can you explain the blog CV part?
Okay, so for the blog, like I said before, you will need to create a blog. So let me show you an example. So this is an example of what you're supposed to do. So exactly like this, you need to just copy everything, like the screenshot of every step you are taking, right? Of how to create a VPC private and public subnet, right? You can show all the steps. So this is the VPC, and you can explain more and more and more into everything, how you are creating the VPC, explain the whole process, every single thing, step by step, step by step, step by step, step by step, till you reach the end, which is a lot of work, right? But on the bright side, it actually gives you like better knowledge of exactly what you learned or what you did. So it's very advisable you understand this video or this class that we have today, because if you do not understand the class, you won't be able to write this much, or you won't be able to explain it in a written form. Okay, hope that is
But mentor, this is basically what he wants us to do, right? What he just showed us now.
yeah, exactly that. That's what we want you guys to do.
So can we get this link?
Is it for this?
For the one you just showed us just now.
Okay, I'm not sure they are the same thing. This is just like a normal blog. I get you. I'm
But
just
at least it
letting
gives an idea of what.
yeah, yeah,
We,
exactly.
we
So
can
What
use
to
it
prepare.
as a reference.
yeah, I will definitely send the link.
And the other
Are
thing
we
you are
still
telling, okay,
going to have a readme .md file? That means we don't need readme
No,
for
no,
this.
no, no. You don't need a review.md. But
Okay.
for personal growth and for how will I put it? For explanation of what you did, right? Not because of what school, but for your own personal use, because it will still help you maybe when you're applying for jobs. Then you should create a review.md file. That just
Okay.
basically just explains the projects and everything.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Then another question
Yeah.
on this CV, the CV that is mentioned here, is it a normal CV or a different thing altogether aside the blog one?
Yeah, the CV is different. I get what I'm saying. So after creating the CV, you need to come to resume worded, right? You need to come to resume worded, and you are going to grade your CV on resume worded, right? They help you grade your CV and show you exactly what happens and what you need to change and all this kind of thing. So, for instance, you can create an account, right? You can create an account. Um, but I already have an account, right? So, yeah, you can see all this. You can pick one. You can overall resume score. That means you can score your resume, right? You can also score your LinkedIn profile, right? Your targeted resume, you can also score that also. I get what I'm saying. But one thing I'll tell you is before you even create a resume, um, before you create a resume, what I would advise you to do is to watch that course because the course doesn't just teach you exactly what it is to create a resume, but it gives you like a little insight into the job world. Are you getting what I'm saying? It gives you a little insight into the job world, and you can just create a normal resume for now because honestly, later on, this resume thing when you're applying for jobs, it won't really matter. Are you getting what I'm saying? It won't really matter. What really matters is what you know, the project you have done, and your experience. That's the most important thing. So just create your resume and submit it for old school. Yeah. So is there any other question? Okay, so since there's no other question, we'll need to we'll continue our class from Tuesday, right, by 8 p.m. and we'll be looking into Terraform too, right? So if you have any other question after this call, you can just send it to the mastermind group, right? Or you can message me. Okay, so this video is going to drop immediately after the call. That's the first and the second. It's going to drop immediately after the call. So yeah,
Sorry,
please you
mentor. Just
can.
to please on. Yeah, there's something that Tajuddin asked earlier,
Yeah.
and he said it was sent to him. Is it personally or the group?
What was that?
And there was something that you were
Is it
saying
the
that
Udemy account?
we
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
log on to and
yeah.
before we get.
I'll send it again to the group, to the mastermind
Okay,
group,
thanks. Thank you.
right? So everyone can log in. Then you can also get the link to get access to the course. Okay, so since that's all, this call is going to end now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, the Cloud Top G already has a YouTube channel, and currently we are at 46 subscribers, and we just have only 11 videos. And You can subscribe to this channel if you want to keep getting valuable content like this, right? You can subscribe to the channel and you can get access to our next videos. Thank you.